Okay, so my students, here we are proceeding looking on the structure of a polypeptide, that is the protein. And here we have said that the structure of a polypeptide molecule is determined by the amino acid sequence and its configuration. So for each particular type of protein, the chain of amino acid makes up a polypeptide molecule of a certain shape. Kwa maana kwamba in order for the formation of a polypeptide, we need the sequence of amino acid. And for that, we can say that not only for the amino acid sequence and its configuration, how is it arranged, but also for each particular type of a protein, a chain of amino acid makes up a polypeptide molecule of a specific shape. Kwa kwenye kila protein panakuwa na chain of amino acid ambayo inatengeneza different kind of polypeptide chain inayokuwa na shape tofauti tofauti. And thus we can simply say that this shape is very important in functioning of a protein, especially enzyme. Sasa ile shape ambayo inatengenezwa na protein au inayotengenezwa na polypeptide chain, tunasema kwamba inakuwa ina umuhimu. Kwa sababu gani? In order for enzyme to act upon that protein, it will ataangalia the shape of that polypeptide molecule ili aweze kuactivate vizuri, ili aweze kudigest vizuri that enzyme, that protein. So now the type and the three-dimensional configuration of a polypeptide molecule is stabilized by the interaction of 5 different type of bond. That is we're going to see in the figure 1.35. Kwa maana kwamba kwenye kila aina ya dimension au kwenye kila shape unayoona ya polypeptide chain ambayo ndiyo inatengeneza sasa ile protein, tunasema kwamba ina be stabilized, inaimarishwa na different kinds of forces, about 5 forces. And those forces of a different type of bond, hizo forces those interactions zinakuwa na different kinds of bond. So now let's see this one. This is the bond in the polypeptide molecule. So this one is our polypeptide molecule, as you can see. Lakini ndani ya hii polypeptide backbone kuna a lot of forces or a lot of bond which are used to make that bond or that give the configuration of this structure. So now you can see we have the first one here, it is the ionic bond. This one is ionic bond which is formed between this positive and this negative, baadaye inatengeneza hiyo bond. But also tuna hii disulfide link. This is sulfur and this sulfur ndio ambayo ina provide about the disulfide link. And apart from that, also we have the van der Waals interaction, dispersion forces that act between the hydrophobic side branches. So we have this forces, that is dispersion force, ambayo hii dispersion force it tend to compress the structure of this protein mpaka inakuwa na huu muonekano. Ni kutokana na hii force au hii bond ambayo imetengenezwa hapo. But also we have another thing, that is hydrogen bond. Now you can see iliyotengenezwa hapa kati ya hii partial positive na hii partial negative, ndio ambayo sasa ika create hiyo bond. So but now let's start looking on the first kind of bond that we have already seen while we are discussing on the formation of protein earlier. So now this polypeptide bond, simply we can say that this is the bond formed between carboxylic group, that is COOH of one amino acid, and another group, that is NH2 of other amino acid. Hii inaitwa peptide bond. Ni bondi ambayo inatengenezwa na amino acid mbili. Remember kwenye amino acid moja kuna pati ya carboxylic group na pati ya amino group. Sasa kwenye ile amino group ina tend to contribute its one hydrogen, na ile kwenye amino group ina tend to contribute about 2 atom of hydrogen. Ndipo ambapo sasa ina create now that peptide bond. Now you can see the polypeptide molecule has a free amino group at the end and the carboxylic group at the other end. What does that mean? Hapa tunamaanisha kwamba in order for the formation of polypeptide bond, tukisema poly meaning that we have a lot of peptide bond, hundreds of the amino acid ndiyo ambayo inatengeneza sasa polypeptide bond. Sasa kwenye hile polypeptide bond, kwenye other side of the peptide of that polypeptide bond, there must be the presence of amino group which is the free, and another side we should have the carboxylic group at the other end. That will accomplish the bond which is a polypeptide bond. But also now let's discuss on another bond that we have already seen in the diagram, that is the figure 1.34. So now we have another bond ambayo tuliona inaitwa hydrogen bond. What is this bond now? So this hydrogen bond is the bond that is formed in the polypeptide chain between amino acid and the side of R group. So hii hydrogen bond ambayo inatengenezwa kwenye ile peptide tunasema kwenye ile polypeptide chain tuliona, inatengenezwa kati ya amino acid na the side of a R group. Remember, the R group, we have already seen that it can be hydrogen atom or any alkyl group. It can be alkane, alkene, or alkyne. All of them, they are alkyl group, that they are R group. Sasa hii hydrogen bond tumesema inatengenezwa na amino acid pamoja na ile side ambayo inakuwa na R group. So the bond is an electrostatic attraction between the hydrogen atom and another electronegative atom. So kunakuwa na attraction between hydrogen and more electronegative atom. The most electronegative atom which is found within the amino acid, it is a nitrogen. So it will tend to form this bond which is the hydrogen bond with the hydrogen bond. So we can see the hydrogen bond formed between the carboxylic, that is C double bond O, of one amino acid or the amino group, that is NH, or another amino acid. Kwa hapo ndipo patatengenezeka ile hydrogen bond. It is very simple. But also we can simply say that the hydrogen present in the hydroxyl, that is OH group, or amino group, that is the NH2, or the amino acid, becomes slightly electropositive. Kwa kutokana na ile interaction iliyokuwepo kati ya carboxylic group together with that the amino group, ndio ambayo ina bring about the slightly electropositive nature which is found within this structure. So therefore the hydrogen bond is a partially electrostatic attraction between the hydrogen atom, which is covalently bonded to a more electronegative atom of a group such as the nitrogen and the oxygen. So kwenye amino acid kuna nitrogen together with the oxygen which is found in the carboxylic group. Kwa hiyo sasa ile hydrogen atom inaweza ikacombine au ikaungana na hii it can be covalently bonded by nitrogen or that oxygen. So although hydrogen bonds are very weak, the absolute number of a bond plays a considerable role in the shape and stability of a polypeptide molecule. Pia tunasema kwamba hii hydrogen bond always inajulikana ni weak bond, lakini kutokana hizi hydrogen bond zinatengenezwa nyingi kwenye polypeptide chain au kwenye polypeptide bond, ndio ambayo sasa ina bring about the role of providing shape and stability in the polypeptide chain. So that's all about hydrogen bond. We have another bond which is the disulfide bond. This disulfide bond, this is formed between a side of a cysteine, that is amino acid containing sulfur, and keeps the parts of polypeptide intact and maintain its stability. Kwa hii structure au hii bondi inatengenezwa na ile ambayo tumesema the amino acid containing sulfur ambayo inaitwa cysteine, and keep the polypeptide intact and maintain its stability. So simply we can say that if the two molecules of a cysteine line up along with each other, the neighboring sulfur can be oxidized to form disulfide bridge. Ndio hile tulioona pale on the previous slide, inatengeneza sulfur bond ambayo ina bring about disulfide bond. That is how disulfide it is made. And now disulfide linkage may be formed between the cysteine residue of the same polypeptide chain or different polypeptide chain of a functional protein. So disulfide bond stabilize the tertiary or quaternary structure of a protein. Tutaenda kuangalia kwenye classification of proteins. So kuna zile classification zinazo based on the number of protein. So we have this tertiary and quaternary protein. This tertiary and quaternary protein, they are stabilized with this kind of bond, that is the sulfide bond. And my student, by saying so, this marks the end of our today's session, and thank you for your time and for listening. Bye bye. Have a nice moment.